Hello YouTube, it's Ryan here with HobbiesofaMan once again, and today we're going to be doing our haul video for the month of May. And because of the way that I'm going to be moving around the state this month, and actually kind of moving around the country this month, I wanted to do it, in pieces, and I'll stitch the pieces together into a cohesive video, or as close to cohesive as possible within the sections that I usually have, right? So today we're going to be doing the manga, and then I'll stitch in more manga later at the end of the month when I buy more when I'm visiting my parents, and then I'll do the same thing for each subsequent section, right? So I'll have a book section as well and a comic book section, and we'll just kind of do it like normal. I just have to do it in a even more piecemeal than usual, right? So let's get to it. Let's get started with the manga here. So in terms of manga, I've been able to get quite a few different things, mostly through the free comic book day, right? So here's Pokemon Adventures number 7. This was a free comic book day purchase. I got this alongside 2 sets of boards for comic books, and I'm pretty excited about this. I'm nearly done with this collection, so that's pretty exciting. I'm very much looking forward to being able to finish it. I also got Blue Lock. I bought this from Walmart. And it was like $9 or something, so it was like $4 off, which is nice. I love this hot pink color. It's wonderful. I think this character is quite interesting. I'm very excited to read it. However, I'm not sure that I want to read it right now. My plan was to record a arc review of Blue Lock for volumes 11 and 12, but then I realized that the arc that those cover actually doesn't end until volume 13, so I need to wait 2 more months. And I don't necessarily think that I want to, get this and then have to read it and then have to reread it again next month when the next volume comes out, right? Or in 2 months from now when the next volume comes out. So I think I'll just wait and read it later, which is painful because I really do want to sink my teeth into it right now, but it's not that big of a deal. Here's Record of Ragnarok number 10. I love this cover, but I feel like this fight has been dragging on a lot. Like, I understand that that's how long it takes in the comic, but why was the anime adaptation so short? I don't know. It's kind of odd, but I actually really like this fight, so I'm quite happy about it. We got, his backstory last time, which is not accurate to, the real depiction of this god, but it was really enjoyable. I liked it a lot. I think it's fun, and I'm really looking forward to finishing up this fight with Raymond Tamamon, and I always forget the name of this character. I can't remember if it's Shiva or Vishnu. I guess it is Shiva, right? So yeah, looking forward to reading that soon. And here's Thunderbolts number 3, Gundam Thunderbolts, Mobile Suit Gundam Thunderbolts number 3 by Yasuo Otagaki. And this is a great series. I really like the artwork here, and the color pages are phenomenal. Look at that. That's so nice. And I had this reawakening of interest in this set of books because of my buddy Darth Penn. He's been really into Gundam lately, and he's been talking about it and how cool it is. And when I saw a copy of this at one of my local half-price books, I had to get it. So yeah, and mostly it's because I never see this anywhere, right? And apparently it's because it's been kind of out of print for a while, and the same thing is happening now with book 4, so it's probably going to be another year or so before I get a copy of it, and that's a bit disappointing. I actually looked at one of my local comic book stores today during Free Comic Book Day. I looked up and thought, maybe it'll be here because they usually have a good assortment of Gundam comics, but there's nothing there. They had everything except Volume 4 and Volume 3, so I didn't bother to get that. So yeah, here's Black Torch number 2. I bought Black Torch number 1 last month for like $3. This one was $5. I got it used from Better World Books, and it's basically in brand new condition except for some yellowing at the top, but not actually inside the pages. It's just like someone left it at the store too long, and the outside, the top of it is a little bit yellow, but the pages inside are not really that yellow. I mean, some of them are, but broadly speaking, not that bad. But this series is great. I really like it. If you guys like Bleach, but you want something slightly more modern, I recommend Black Torch. And if you like Black Torch, you should check out Heart Gear, which is by the same creator, and it's a wonderful science fiction travel log type story. I really, really recommend it. Moving on from that, we got Las Guias, number 1. I really want to open this, but I'm going to wait for a while because I can't really show you guys anything that's in here. From what I understand, this is a very, very horny, mature series, and it's not really something I want to show here. But there you go. If you guys want to read the text there, basically, he has a friend that he's been really close to forever. They get in a weird place. He gets her a book, and this book turns out to be a problem. It makes him really like horny for certain people, and that's where the Guias aspect comes from, right? So the book is the Guias through which they channel lust, right? So yeah, here's number 2. I mean, I get that Japanese people like fetishize school outfits, but I don't really get this. However, I definitely understand this one. You know, the office lady look, perfect, phenomenal, very good stuff. I love the detail here. You know how you can see into her shirt. It's very well done. I like that a lot. And this is much better. But in general, this is quite good. I've heard good things about it, and I've been wanting to get it for a long time. So when we were at the shop today during Free Comic Book Day, my roommate was like, dude, you talk about it all the time. You always mention wanting to get it, and you never do. Just go ahead and do so now. So I did. And that's quite good. Here's Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid number 6, by Kokyo Sinja. Finally, it's about time that I got back to this. And Free Comic Book Day was the right day to do it because of the 3 for 2 sale that Madness Comics has. Here's number 5. This means that I'm about, halfway through the collection, which is good. I mean, new issues come out of it all the time, but or new volumes come out all the time for the series. But given that it's finally a positive change when I've had no positive change at all in my collection for like 3 years, I think it's good that I got that. So I'm very happy about that. It's going to help out my quarter 2 review be a bit better, right? And then finally here, we're going to end this portion of the manga section with this manga by a new publisher. This is Alien Books. They're technically a comic book publisher, but somehow they started getting into manga. This is their second or third title, and it's called Legendary Warrior Momo. So I think it's like a retelling of like the Momotaro story, but with like a sci fantasy setting, right? So that's cool. But the most interesting part is this, actually. So this is Japanese style, and this is the same size as a 7 Seas book, but it's more or less in line with an A6 manga format, right? So this is what this looks like inside. This actually really reminds me of Manga Line, which is quite funny, but I think it's just because of the logo for this this specific series, right? So here's what the book looks like inside. I'm kind of sad that there wasn't some drawings here. I feel like there's a lot of blank space here, and a nice detailed drawing of the character would have been cool to have here. But if this is how the Japanese version was, I mean, it's okay. It's not like this is significantly worse or better than any other version of this that could be, right? And as long as we got like this kind of extra feeling thing was cool. Their website lists that this is a black and white series with 4 FC. And FC, I think, stands for full color. So that means that there's supposed to be 4 full color pages at some point in this collection of 4 volumes, I think. But it's not the case here. We get this really great, spread of this character here, and we get the 4 chapters. And, this is what the series looks like. I would have liked a bookmark. I think that if they're going to go through the effort of making this kind of extra stuff, they might as well also give us a bookmark. But that's because I'm really leaning into the like Latin American and European kind of vibe for manga, which is not necessarily what this series is trying to accomplish, right? Like, I think they were just trying to differentiate themselves a little bit from the competition by offering this. And I think that's good. However, there's some issues here. First of all, this is a really tight book. However, the more that you kind of mess with it and the more that you open it, the looser it gets. So it's ultimately, readable. Like, there's no problem. And this doesn't seem to be cracking the spine, but it definitely feels quite stiff and very, like, it definitely feels worth the money until you try to open it and it's like impossible, because that makes it feel cheaper, right? Like, it makes it feel like this isn't well made because this is supposed to easily open, right? But I think that the benefits of this outweigh the drawbacks, right? So in general, I think this is quite a good book. And I wanted to make a separate video for it, but I think that I just, what I'm doing now is good enough. Maybe I'll clip this out and make it into a separate video, right? Maybe I'll do a reel or something. But those are my thoughts on this. So yeah, and that's basically it for the manga for up to the 5th of May, right? So let me record the other segments for all the stuff that I have now, and then hopefully I'll have more stuff for you guys later in the month. So I'll see you guys in the next clip. Okay, so it's March 29th, and I have more stuff, right? So we're gonna do the English language manga, and then we're gonna do the manga in Spanish. And I have a lot of manga in Spanish because I didn't actually get to go to Mexico, but I managed to get my grandma and my uncle Luis, who's my mom's brother, to bring me some manga that I ordered to their home, that was sent to their homes, right? So let me show you what I'm talking about. So in terms of American stuff, I've got Yakuta number 2. Thank God, finally. I've been wanting it for a while. I think number 3 is going to come out here soon, and that's pretty exciting, right? So here's Yakuta number 2. I love this blue color, and I'm very curious to see who this character is, right? So there you go. Then Iruma-kun number 1. I got this at FYE, which is 4E Entertainment. It's a mixed media store. It's usually kind of like a fandom store, and they had a sale for manga. You could buy one and get one half off, and I did that. However, I messed up the calculations a bit because I thought that things were priced differently than they were. I thought this was a $10 book. It's actually a $13 book, which kind of sucks, but I'm very happy I got it. I love this first image here. Although the artwork is different from, that. I'm very excited about this. I tried watching the anime, and Crunchyroll is just really bad sometimes, so I decided to drop it. But I'm very excited to check it out, so I'm going to read that for sure. We have Mashal number 14. This is what I bought with that for the deal. And I forgot that this was still a $10 book. I thought this was a $12 book. So the amount of money I got back out of it was not as high as it should have been, which kind of sucks, right? Like, you want to make things be the same price if you're going to buy with those types of sales, right? But very good stuff. I'm very excited to see who this guy is. I have no clue, but he looks interesting, right? So yeah, not much to say here. Mashal's almost done. I can't wait to finish it. It'll be very exciting. So that's it for American manga. Now, in terms of manga from Mexico, I have quite a bit of stuff here. So some of it is from early in the year. Actually, some of it might have been from December. And some of it is from April, and then I have some from May. So I'm just gonna show you them the way I have them based on how they came in, right? So from December, I've got Dora no Kini-chan number 3. There we go. Not much to say about this one. I like this mustard yellow color. Nice. Let me put them on top here. Here's Dora no Kini-chan number 4. This is the last book in the series, and this might be the only manga that Manga Line actually manages to publish because they're kind of struggling a lot. But it is what it is. We'll see. Then I got from Panini Manga Mexico, I got 4 volumes of manga, and that would be Lady Snowblood number 1 with a dust jacket and a bookmark. I got number 1 in this classic edition. I'm very much happy that this is not the Kill Bill version because I don't like that one. I think the yellow is too strong. Number 2. Number 3. This book is super heavy. I'm not really sure why. And number 4. This one happens to have this. I do wish, though, that instead of having just the same image, they would have done the Kill Bill cover on this one. Because I think that way it would have been nice to have this kind of a chance to experience multiple versions of it. But Panini probably just didn't think about it at the time, right? So, yeah, also, along with Dora no Kuni-chan, since I bought the 4th book when I was pre-releasing, I got this poster, which is kind of cute. Looks pretty interesting, but I think the original poster that came with Volume 1 was much better. I also ended up getting, in that same order, Oruchuban Ebichuchan number 3. I love this orange color. I've not had a chance to read these yet, but this is like a raunchy Hamtaro, so I think it'll be funny. And I got this, which if you guys aren't aware, in Europe and Latin America, they do this thing where they give you a box set, and they give it to you with the last book, and you can build it yourself if you want to. So, you know, I gotta bend it in certain ways and assemble it, but that's cool. I like that. I think it's cool. It's not that special, and honestly, I don't like box sets, but I think that kind of concept is fun. And then with my Panini order, I also ended up getting Yu Hakusho number 7 in this really nice concept bond edition. And number 8, this mustard color, which is nice. And number 9, again, in this off-green color that's slightly more lemony or maybe like cucumbery than the yellow or the green for the first volume. So that's cool. That's it for this portion of manga. I also ended up getting more. So I got The Guy She Wasn't Interested at All. She was interested in Wasn't a Guy at All, volume 1. And I got this version, even though they have the American version coming up here by Yen Press, because of 2 things. One, this was way cheaper. The Yen Press one is probably going to be about $15 if we're lucky, $20 if we're not. And this one is $10.80. So it cost me the same as an old Viz volume. And it had a bookmark. And because these are Japanese style, they have this inside. And on the other side, we got the other character, right? I'm pretty sure we're going to miss out on these when Yen Press releases their copy. So I just want to make sure I did it. And this one's really cool because of the background coloring, right? So that's really awesome. And also, I didn't mind getting it from Mexico because from what I understand, this is a digital first title and it releases on like Twitter or something. And so the mangaka is actually quite slow at what they do. And so there's only 2 volumes of this out, and no one has any clue when the 3rd volume is going to come out. So I don't really have a problem waiting because like waiting for the book would be pretty easy for me because I also have to wait for me to be able to go to Mexico, and it's not going to be a problem. Like I have no rush to get the series, which I might feel if I got the American edition. So that's cool. Either way, I don't know. It maybe doesn't matter too much, but I like this edition quite a bit. Then I finally finished collecting all of the One Piece data books. So this is One Piece Green. This was the missing one. It's called Secret Pieces. This one has a cool bookmark inside and these nice pull-out posters. And yeah, this one is super thick for some reason. I don't know, but I'll finally be able to make a video talking about these books and mentioning them and kind of, you know, showing you all of the data, bits and pieces they have here. This looks great. I don't know what that is. So yeah. Then I got Green Blood number 5. That has nothing inside except some good artwork. Green Blood number 4. Number 3. Number 2, which is probably the coolest cover, but the worst spine, because I don't know if you guys can tell. There is a 2 there, but it's nearly the same color as the background, so you can't see it. And that's really disappointing, because it could have been like this color, and it would have been super noticeable and not super weird. So I'm upset about that one, but it's not too bad. But it is really noticeable that there should be a number there, and it's barely visible. And then Green Blood number 1. This one does have a bookmark, and there's some color pages here as well. Then I got Record of Ragnarok number 1. Now, I already own this in English, but this one comes with a bookmark, the color page I always complain about. And I just bought it because I needed to spend more cash for free delivery. And since I wanted the bookmark, I thought it was worth it. So yeah, I'm gonna do a comparison between this edition and the American edition. And it might be an interesting thing or not, I don't know. And finally, Witches' War, number 1. This is known in English as War of the Greedy Witches. You can read it directly from the publisher online in English, but I don't like that. So yeah, here we go. This is from a Spanish publisher that somehow publishes in Mexico. I have a color page here in the front, no color pages after that. And this is just female Record of Ragnarok, and I'm very excited about it. So yeah, that's it for now. Okay, so I also have 2 extra last second additions to the haul video. These are 2 manga that I got yesterday when I was at the mall, because Books A Million has a buy one get one 50% off sale on graphic novels and manga. And so I decided to get Witch Hat Atelier number 3. This is Kitchen number 3. This is the spin-off that focuses on food in this fantasy world. It's really fun. I really recommend you guys check it out. It's really, really great. And alongside that, I also got Witch Hat Atelier Volume 12. This is the latest volume in the series. It has this new thingy on it about it being a Will Eisner Award winner. And they finally went back to the thicker printing for these manga. So that's nice. I guess that means that there's a positive change in the supply chain issues that we've been having when it comes to paper, right? So hopefully that's a good thing. But I was upset that there was such bad quality control when it comes to these books, right? Like, they're newly printed. There really is no need to like mess up so badly. Like, this is out of alignment. You know, the spine is a bit too, it's like bent incorrectly at the wrong place. You know, there's a lot of issues, but this was the best copy that they had, so that's the one I grabbed. And yeah, I'm very excited to see what happens here, because the ending of the last one was pretty serious, if I remember correctly. So yeah, there you go. That's everything for the manga. Okay, so let's look at the miscellaneous stuff I got this month. And well, there really isn't too much of it yet. I'm still kind of at my apartment right now, so this might be the only stuff, you know, that's miscellaneous that I get this month or not. I'm not really sure. But to start with, we have the Squishmallow. This is a Gengar, and I really like these. So over the summer last year, when my sister stayed with me, she bought herself a Snorlax, and it was a 20-inch Snorlax, and it was wonderful. It was phenomenal to play with. It was so nice and cuddly and stuff. And so I've been wanting to get my hands on a Pokemon Squishmallow myself, you know, for a while. And this one was at $15 at Walmart recently, which is half price, and I thought it was very much worth the effort. I'm kind of sad it's not a gigantic one. I think this is supposed to be the 10-inch model, and I'm not really sure how that works, because the 20-inch model, which is the one my sister got, is 4 times as big as this. As in, 4 of these fit together to create that, you know, thing, right? And I don't know if it's how that is possible. I guess that's just because of how, you know, volume works, right? But I'm not really sure. This is supposed to be a 10-inch one, but and it actually is about 10 inches tall. You know, that's about 10 inches right there, but it's not as big and satisfying, right? But it's still enjoyable to cuddle with, or, you know, use as a backrest or whatever. So I recommend you guys get these, but these are significantly more expensive than your average ones, than the normal Squishmallows, because they have like the added fact that they are also, you know, e-license, right? So you should get these only when there's deals, right? So yeah, so that's it for that one. I'm gonna lay him down like this so you can sort of see him. The other thing I got is this, a Black Series figure. This is Aldani Andor, and I got this for $3 or $4. I can't remember. Let me double check. I think it was like $4 at Walmart. Yeah, it was $5. So it's not as cheap as I thought, but also significantly cheaper than it would be otherwise. The normal price is about $25, And this is a really nice looking figure. I mean, at least while it's in the box. I'm gonna open it and then I'll show you guys what it looks like, right? So bear with me for just a sec. Okay, here's the figure outside of the box. So in general, I think that the face sculpt looks pretty good. They managed to make his like 5 o'clock shadow look good. Can you focus? Oh, there we go. I think it finally focused there. So yeah, his head sculpt is good. It looks real nice. Looks very similar to Diego Luna. And his armor is pretty good too. Looks nice. It looks very similar to the trooper armor from the base where Mayfield was. Biggs Mayfield, right? So from The Mandalorian, right? So I think this is more or less the same sculpt as those characters. Let's see. Yeah. If we can make him look like he's walking. He just pulled out his gun. It's kind of hard to make these work sometimes. They're really stiff in some parts. But yeah, he can't go very high. But he can twist pretty good. So that's kind of interesting. His joints there are pretty stiff. Let's see. That kind of works, right? Sort of ish. I don't know. He looks like he's standing really weirdly, but yeah, I mean, either way, I think it looks good. Iender is not necessarily my favorite character, but for $5, I'm not gonna say no to a nice, good-looking figure, right? I just need to figure out how to pose it properly, and then hopefully he'll join Boba Fett, and I'll have some other characters in there to add to the collection, right? So, yeah, I did think about buying some more for Free Comic Book Day, but Madness didn't have any that I really wanted that weren't like ridiculously overpriced. Like they were like $40. I was like, I'm not gonna pay that. So I'll probably just end up waiting for another movie trading company sale, because they have a bunch of figures there that are pretty cheap, like in the $12 range. Okay, so moving on to more miscellaneous stuff. I got this Chrysanthemum. He is one of my favorite characters from the modern era of Star Wars. Not because he's a good character, just because I like how he looks. I really love Wookiees, and I really like Chrysanthemum because a black Wookiee is so cool, right? Like a black colored Wookiee is really, really awesome. However, these are the non-plastic version of the boxes, so you can't see what he looks like, but he looks real great inside. I got it on clearance at Walmart for $13, which is a steal. Very nice stuff. It's like a third of the price, right? And he looks great inside, so I won't have a chance to show you a picture of him right now, but I will have a picture of him either on Twitter or on Instagram, so feel free to check those out. So yeah, that's it for the miscellaneous stuff. Okay, so let's talk about books here. So I really don't have too many right now. I have this one, The History of Money by Jack Weatherford. This guy did a book about Genghis Khan that I think is phenomenal. It's one of my favorites. I read it for high school, and I really recommend that you guys give this guy a chance, but he has a bunch of other books as well, so there you go. This is The History of Money by Jack Weatherford. And then we have Smarter, Faster, Better, book 2 of Charles Duggan's, Power of Habit series, and this one is quite good. I got it used for like $4, and it's a bit beat up, but not so much that it's concerning to read it, right? So yeah, I'm gonna eventually get around to reading these at some point, right? So yeah, that's it for that. We'll see you guys in the next clip. Okay, so continuing on with the books, I have On Writing Well by William Sincer. This is the second book in the series, or the other book that he wrote about writing. It's a classic guide to writing fiction, so I have both of them, to writing nonfiction. And technically, these are not helpful for writing stories, in the sense that they don't teach me techniques to write fiction, but they teach me techniques to be concise, to be good at wordsmithing, and I think that that's very meaningful, because I really like old school science fiction and fantasy, and they don't really have too many words. They're not that verbose, right? Like they're not they don't have giant like very wordy, unnecessarily flowery language, right? It's not like a Patrick Rothfuss book. I'd rather read or write like Robert D. Howard, right? Concise, straight to the point, very direct and poignant word choice, right? And I think that nonfiction writing tips might be more helpful for that sort of thing, right? So hopefully it turns out to be the case. Either way, I'm excited to read these regardless of whether they're useful for my personal writing endeavors or not. So yeah. And then here we have a bookshop in Bone Dust, and this is the prequel story to Travis Baldry's Legends and Lattes. I got this on Amazon, and I'm a bit upset about it, but not so much that I returned it. So there's this cutting issue at some point where there's just bits of black and the pages aren't centered properly, but it's not that big of a deal. I hope that this is not super actiony, because I really loved Legends and Lattes being so simple and calming. I would rather not have to switch up gears to a more action heavy type thing for this book, but who knows? Either way, I like this a lot, so I'm very excited to check it out. Also, before I show you my digital purchases, I do have to mention that I got a Kindle in a weird way. This is technically a secondhand Kindle. My dad gave it to me, and he had it, but he only owned it for like 3 weeks. And the reason is that he had a lot of points, I think, on his account for where he books tickets for flying. And so we don't have any plans to fly or do anything like that anytime soon. So he decided to use them to buy himself a Kindle because he wanted to have one, because he's tired of reading on his phone, right? And so he got this, and he set it up. It's still set to his account right now. I was trying to read, where is it? Let's see. I was trying to read Into the Black by Evan Curry, one of my favorite novels ever. And like I said, this is all set up to his account, so it doesn't really have all those books that I have. But he gave this to me because he spent 3 weeks with it, or 2 weeks with it. And then I got an ad for the Kindle Scribe. And this Kindle Scribe is basically a Kindle that also has writing capabilities, right? You can handwrite on it. And my dad is really interested in having something like that, but he doesn't buy himself an iPad because it's too expensive, right? So I sent him the Kindle Scribe deal that I saw. He looked into it. He decided that he really liked it, but he wanted to get the best version possible. So he decided to see if the way that he purchased this was also applicable to the Kindle Scribe. He saw that it was. He saw that there was some sort of discount available for it, and so he used the discount to buy the Kindle Scribe. But then he had the issue where, what do I do with this one? He could have returned it, but I had expressed interest in wanting it because I like the size of this a lot. And it would save my iPad some battery life if I took this with me to school and used this to read while I'm between classes instead of my iPad, which would make it so that I run out of battery mid-class, right? And so he gave it to me, and I'm very happy about that. This is a great size. I love this. This fits in my pocket, and I think that's a guy-only thing. Most women probably wouldn't be able to fit these in their pockets, but it's a very nice, very simple device. I used to have a Kindle when I was younger, but it was a Kindle Fire. It was like the first edition of the Kindle Fire. It was a great book device. Sorry, not book. It was slightly larger than this one, but I eventually just moved on to an iPad, right? And I've been wanting to have a Kindle for a while. So the fact that my dad did all of these weird things and ended up giving me his old one, which is only 3 weeks old or a month old at this point, is really great. So I'm very happy about that. I think that was great. Wonderful. Good stuff here. So I'll make a video, talk about that Kindle at some point if I deem it necessary. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure everyone knows that Kindles are good. But in case you don't, they're great. You should check them out. So let's look at the stuff that I've bought, right? So I can't remember what we left off on last time. So here's Ascend. I bought that book. I did not buy this book. And then me and my dad found an old hard drive that we had where we just had a bunch of books, and we looked into what books they were. So we have a bunch of Lee Child Reacher books. Then we have all of the Patrick O'Brien Master and Commander series, which is nice. I downloaded them, but they're documents. They count as documents until you open them, because they're not owned by Kindle. Then I opened some old books, so that's why everything's out of order here. I bought Battle Mage Farmer, book 1, for $1. I finally got all 4 of the Great Code series. I bought Uncanny Collateral. This is Brian McClellan's work, and I'm excited about that one, but I probably won't read it until October. And then I got Beast Shifter, the Primal Talisman, Omnibus 1, which includes books 1 through 3. I don't like how that's set up, but whatever. By Dante King, friend of the channel, someone I used to review a lot of books for, but have not done so in a while, although I own quite a few of his books. And I also got Barbarella, but I'll just mention it now since I don't want to pull out this for the comic book section again. So, yeah, overall, good stuff, good purchases here. Very excited about everything that I bought. Looking forward to reading everything as soon as I can, right? So, yeah, that's it for the books. Okay, so let's talk about comics here. And first of all, before we get actually into the proper comics, I do want to kind of address some miscellanea here that I bought. Here's 100 boards. Here's another 100, so that's 200 boards. And then here's 50 bags. 50 more, so that's 100. 150, that's 150. And then another 50, that's 200. And I got all of this just for the price of the boards because of some issues I had with Walmart. I explained it in my free comic book day haul. So if you want to understand why I got these for free, go for it. Go watch that video. I recommend that you guys check out and see if you can get these, because if you can get Walmart to give them to you for free, because the seller is fraudulent still, it would probably work out for you guys if you're interested in bags and boards, right? But this doesn't look that good, so I'm going to remove it from the background and then get right into the comic books here. So let's start with the oversized stuff first. So here's Flash Gordon number 7. I got this from Comic Asylum when I went there for free comic book day. And this is an old book that they had in their discount section. They have this bookshelf that has basically everything 60% off cover price. And I think this was $20, so I got it for, no, whatever it was, it ended up costing me $8. So, I don't know what that is. If 8 is 0.4, so 0.2 is 4. So 4 times 5 is 20. So it was $20, which is exactly what that is. And this looks good. It's very interesting. It's quite old. And, you know, I feel like there should be some yellow here somewhere. Flash Gordon is like red, black, and yellow, right? But I don't know. There doesn't seem to be any. So it is what it is. Here's Love, the Tiger. This is a set, or part of a set. There's, I think, 6 other books. There's one about a T-Rex, a dog, a person, a monkey, I think. I can't remember what they all are, but this is written by Frederick Bremod and Federico Bertolucci, I think is the artist. And this is by Magnetic Press. And this publisher is quite weird. Their most kind of interesting thing is Tezu Comics or the Monkey King series, right? But they do a lot of releases from European comics. They're just kind of odd because it's kind of hard to find them, you know, anywhere. This is a Nature All Ages book. It's $18. I got it for free because the deal at Comic Asylum was get one, buy one. Or get one, buy one, get one for free. And I got this. And yeah, this says it's the first book in the series, each focusing on a different day in the life of a different wild animal across natural habitats. It's called Love. The Tiger received a special jury selection award at the Festival Comics in Lucca, Italy in 2011. I think I've been there, well, to Lucca, Italy, but I'm not sure. And this book is quite interesting in the sense that there's no text. So all of this is just feelings and vibes. And that's cool. And I really like this artwork. I think it looks really, really nice. And I've been wanting to check out this publisher because they do these interesting kind of things with these books. But they're always just kind of hard to find anywhere, right? I almost never see them in stock in actual stores, and then online their prices are kind of weird for what's essentially like 100-page books, right? And so I don't necessarily want to pay full price all the time, but I got this for free. I wanted to check it out, and I did like it, so I think I will check out more of their stuff, right? So yeah, but I do actually need to read it. I just think first impressions wise, I really enjoy it. I think it looks nice. Now moving on to single issues. So here we have Savage Sword of Conan #2. This is quite good. I don't necessarily like this cover, but I do like the story that's inside. Even if the artwork is not my favorite, it fits with the story so well. It's actually so well done. And they did quite a lot of improvements in terms of the printing quality from this. So I have a lot less negative things to say about this issue than I did for the first one, right? I did a review for it, so you guys can check it out if you're interested. Here's Barbaric #1, Born in Blood. This is the 5th story arc, I think, in Barbaric. And I've actually had a copy of this for over a month before I bought it, 1st of May, because I, helped them with the Zoop crowd building campaign, where they would just give out digital copies of this for free. And I'm quite happy about that. I did have this weird printing issue in mind, though. I don't know why this is blank. It doesn't look like there was damage. This is just like blank for some reason. I'm not really sure what that is, right? So I'll have to compare it with the digital picture later and figure it out. But this is basically the prequel story to Owen the Barbarian, right? So I'm very excited to see where that goes. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I will soon. So that's it for that. Now, in terms of free comic books, here's Conan, Battle of the Blackstone. This looks to be really exciting. Here's Barkham Asylum, Battle Quest, which wasn't actually part of Comic Book Day, but they put out a free comic book today, so that's cool. Here's Johnny Quest. I really like this art style. I think it's fun. One Piece, Ace's Story, the manga. I recommend you guys check this out. It's much better than the comic book, than the light novel, because of Boichi's great artwork, but it's, not necessarily that you read it in order to understand One Piece. Here's Blood Hunt #1, plus the Uncanny the Uncanny X-Men. Here's Pokemon Adventures, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Spider-Man and Ultimate Universe. And I think the Spider-Man is probably the better part here. Absolute Power #1, Special Edition. Star Wars #1. I really like this cover. I think it's cool, but I don't understand why Luke has a yellow lightsaber. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, celebrating 25 years of IDW. That's cool. Gannibal. This is a Japanese thing from Ablaze. Here's Gotcha Man Zero. This is actually a relaunch of a Japanese title from an American group of creators, right? So that's cool. The Energon Universe 2024 special. This has Ryan Otley doing a Megatron story. And then there's some Void Rival stuff in the middle. And then at the end, there's some G.I. Joe stuff that looks quite cool. And here's Flash Gordon #0. Quite cool. I mean, the only reason I got the Flash Gordon, daily strips was because this was, part of the Flash Gordon stuff that was coming out today. So, yeah, I love that picture. I think she looks cool. And that's it for that. Oh, no, actually it's not. I have a few more. Here's Stories from Atlas Comics Library. Here's the Curse Library Prelude. I love how she looks. There's Asterix. And Obelix. The full title should be And Obelix, but whatever. And I Lie Popeye #1 by Marcus Williams. And this one's quite fun. I really love this art style. So, yeah, that's it for the comic books for now. I will come back later with more stuff, right? So I'll see you guys in the next clip. Okay, and finally, to round out the comic book section here, I've got Calimán. This is a Mexican coffee table book of some sorts. It's supposed to be like some sort of textbook, right? It's supposed to be a book 1 in the 10-book series, talking about the treasures of Mexican comic books by Luis Cantus, who is a very prominent figure in the Mexican comic book scene as an event organizer and someone that makes a lot of books and has an interest in the history of comic books in Mexico. And he made this book series. The first one is Kaliman, basically the story about how this character came to be, why he exists, what he's on, what he means to the Mexican people and stuff like that. And I think that that's really, really cool and interesting, and I really like this. I think it's great. It reminds me a little bit of that, like the art books that we get here in the States for like different artists, and it also reminds me of that one manga manga textbook that I got the other day, right? So, you know, it talks about, you know, the original Kaliman radio show, talks about the comic books. It actually has, you know, the launch of the new series, and here's a novel excerpt and some actual Kaliman comics in the original sepia tones included as well. So this is a very exciting book. I actually got the second one as well. The second one is for this character called Tawa, but it didn't arrive to my grandma's house in time for them to bring it up to me when they came up to pick my grandma, because she was staying with us for the month. So I didn't get a chance to have it, but I'm very excited about that one because Tawa is a Mexican ripoff of Tarzan that ends up fighting these weird alien creatures that remind you a lot of like something like Go Nagai's Devil Man series, and that's very exciting and interesting, right? So hopefully I'll get to have that book and the rest of the books in this series by the end of the year, but we shall see. So yeah, that's it for the comic books. Okay, and yeah, so that's the end of the haul for this month. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry it was so choppy and so weird and all over the place. I thought I had made the clips better, much more organized than I did, and it turns out I didn't. So I apologize for that. But yeah, overall, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys got yourselves down below. Let me know what you thought the coolest thing that I purchased this month was. And thank you guys very much for the continued support on the channel. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time.